Hello, and welcome to Down in the Bunker. My name is James Merritt, and today I'm joined by the audacious Toby Berryman. Toby, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, James. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's nice to be finally in summer. How about yourself?
Yes, sunny down here, mate. Brighton.
Fabulous. Always is, though, isn't it? Sunnier in the south.
Yeah.
So if we could just tell us a little bit about yourself, let everyone know who Toby Berryman is.
So I am a partner in a recruitment business called Rolf Berryman, and we do legal recruitment and legal technology. I live in Brighton. I've married, got 3 kids. Oldest is 18, youngest is 9. So I'm going to be working till I'm nearly dead, or dead. Yeah, that's me really. Love it down here.
Okay. So can you tell us how you got into recruiting, and specifically how you got into recruiting for eDiscovery?
I moved to Brighton in about 20 years ago, and I didn't have a job, and I stumbled into recruitment. I started doing legal recruitment, and then in 2008-9, the horrific crash, I saw an advert for lawyers to become salespeople for Kroll on Track. And I actually recognised that name because a great friend of mine, Nick Childs, had once showed it to me in the pub. And I phoned him up, and then the next day introduced me to Martin Kerry. And that's how I got to eDiscovery. Back in, 2000, I think it's 2009.
Well,
yeah. And
so,
kind of ever since.
So it's interesting you've been in since 2009. And why do you think it is that firms should use external recruiters for this industry? And
$1 million question. Lots of reasons. Because they're really expensive. No, do you know what? It's really funny. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. We were talking about AI and how it's probably making marketing redundant, but also it's making, I think, recruitment awful. So I'm talking about LinkedIn now, and went to see a friend of mine, and he was trying to work out why he wasn't getting any acknowledgement. Senior guy in pharmaceuticals, great CV, and just getting these, "Dear John, thank you so much for applying all these jobs." And he just said to me, "Can you help?" We looked at the CV, and it's become keywords, algorithms. Get those wrong in your CV, you ain't getting a look in. And if you're lucky, that CV might go to a bot. In fact, he was talking to a bot called Olivia, or B, a very junior person who probably doesn't know what they're looking at. So why would I say you should use recruiters? For candidates, because you can guarantee a good recruiter will be talking to all the right people, i.e. line managers, and should know those people well, and be able to represent you properly. And I think for employers, it should be time saving. If we do our job properly, we get to know you as well as we can. We understand your culture, your team, your environment, exactly what you're looking for. And the perfect recruitment is to produce 3 candidates. You can't decide which one you like most. And you know what it's like advertising on LinkedIn. I mean, we do it occasionally for our brand. It's horrific. Get thousands and thousands of applications, completely relevant people from all parts of the world, which is great, but not relevant if you haven't got work visas and things. So the other thing, in this day and age of no references, i.e. date references, I think my job is to screen my candidates, and I can guarantee I know someone they've worked with, or especially in this industry, it's so small. I will know an old boss or a colleague, so we reference them for our employers. And I think that's so important now. The amount of times I've seen pretty poor people being headhunted to join or set up teams, and that team's going to fail, because it's the wrong person. I've seen candidate CVs that blatantly lie, about billings or whatever, or even miss out jobs where they didn't do very well. So yeah, I think a good recruiter can be a source of knowledge, apart from just candidates. I'm often talking to people about the market or salaries, or because that's what we spend all our day, just talking to people in the industry. So I think I made a joke about us being expensive. We are, but we're conscious of that. and we
What's the
do
value though that you get?
try and give value. People might say,
I've known you for a long time now. It's been nearly 15 years, and I've been able to lend you expertise from being a candidate. Where you placed me in roles, and also you built a team for me. I suppose back in the early days of Rolf Berryman. Now, if you couple the recruitment requirement, I found it that obviously by you doing a lot of the research and bringing me the candidates, and I know we had to look outside of the box when I built that team 12, 13 years ago. I was snowed under with work, so you did a lot of the hard work, and then it was just a case of, for me, interviewing the right people, and I felt we built a really,
it's time
really
consuming.
good team.
I mean, I love getting involved in sort of team building. You really feel like you're almost a part of that business, which is great. And, it's really satisfying to think we've played a small part in helping that business grow. And I love that.
That's good to hear. So, I mean, across all the years of your experience, are you seeing more of a diverse request for like technology experience when clients ask you to find candidates, or they're still looking for, find me someone with a relatively certified administrator certification, or what are people looking for at the moment with technology expertise?
It's kind of gone full circle. It started off with very technical expertise. Then it became more, I guess the software started working. It was more, client-facing skills and legal knowledge. So a lot of people came out of the legal industry, but it seems to have gone back to technical again. Really good skill sets, I don't know, analytics or TAR or, just, I think probably, or you can tell me this, but I imagine clients doing more and more themselves. And consultancies and vendors probably need to be giving them the kind of technical expertise that they don't have in-house, I think. So people are asking for really good technical knowledge, skill sets, and quite broad backgrounds as well. I mean, RCA, relativity is still the platform of choice. And, again, if people move away from relativity, it can be an absolute career stopper. And that's, I guess, full marks to relativity for great marketing.
It's not just great marketing, I think, because there are other platforms that have an equal marketing skills, but it's the platform itself, the easy use. I mean, I have used over the course of the last 12, 13 months, several platforms. But
Yeah.
when it comes to document review, relatively still top dog. There are other applications such as 4IG, which are brilliant when it comes to the collection. Unique things like Merlin, we're going to start seeing, I think, heavily over the next couple of years with its Gen IA, because I think it's probably going to be a market leader in that until Relativity puts theirs out to try and catch up. I mean, speaking about sort of Gen AI and things, how do you see the eDiscovery marketplace changing?
Gosh, coming from complete non-techie. I mean,
That's just one example of how it's changed. I mean, from a
constantly
recruitment
evolving,
perspective,
constantly
how does it change?
Yeah, and I think I see eDiscovery, this sort of race to the bottom in terms of how people bill, is coming to an end. I see clients trying to diversify much more in terms of what they offer. Even the big vendors, looking at other areas where they can sort of provide expertise. I guess, I mean, you tell me, will eDiscovery end up in some Microsoft platform? It probably already is, isn't it?
There is a Microsoft option, Purview.
Yeah.
Work to do. But I mean, we already saw the sort of shift when COVID came around, where it was a one-stop shop from collection through to production, and everything in between. So, I mean, that's already kind of there. But I guess it's how we take on the next step. You're still going to need, I think, people to run it and to fully understand it. And I think my issue with everything about Gen AI is, have we fully utilised what's already come before yet? And then, are we ready to unleash Gen AI? Do we have the workforce, the skill level to actually handle and really sort of better the platforms and take the technology forward. So obviously we're relying on the forward thinkers and the market leaders to, I guess, show us the way, and then we've got to catch up. I think it's interesting times.
It is. And actually, the other thing I should have said about what do people look for in candidates, apart from really good technical, knowledge, it's also people skills. And once people get to a certain level, they need to start thinking about developing client relationships, because you reach a certain point, and you'll be expected to be doing that sort of BD side. But I think every good PM or consultant must have picked up clients along the way. They've done a good job.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And I think that's certainly if you're moving from a PM into the next level. But obviously, unless you go down pure consulting route, you would still have a base of clients that you'd be able to tap into because you've done a good job, so you've left a good impression. But if we could switch it up a little bit, move away from that. So you support or you've supported the meningitis campaigns. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and why?
So we very sadly lost our first son, Zachary, 2005. He got meningitis. So it's an amazing charity called Meningitis Research Foundation actually approached us just to see how we were. They had a very good support network. And then, ended up doing a lot of fundraising. Fundraising. A few balls of things, haven't we?
We have, brilliant.
So that was why, really. And been doing some work with the new MenB vaccination recently, trying to get it introduced into sort of the vaccine program for under 18s, because that's people tend to get meningitis when they're either very young, actually when they start swapping saliva, I think, and going to university and stuff. So we did this great campaign with nationwide program with Meningitis Research Foundation and Brighton Hospital, infectious disease, etc. It was good because Zach died of meningitis B, which there wasn't a vaccine when he died, and it came out into the baby program in 2015. But the great news is it is. I mean, already now we can see that it's reduced numbers and deaths and by massive amounts.
That's fantastic.
Which is great. Yeah,
brilliant. So outside of recruiting, what is it that Toby likes to do to let off some steam?
Play rugby. Enjoy the countryside here, the sea and the downs, mountain biking, and then trying to keep myself fit so I can run after my kids, basically.
That's the natural fitness cause is running after children. I understand and feel that pain.
Well, I'm still playing rugby with my son, which is great. He's 18 awesome. Now. Yeah.
Is he? Well,
Touch
rugby. To give you a run for your money.
Not playing full contact with him.
So I just want to drop one final question before we wrap up for today, because you had a real interest in upbringing, didn't you? I think you travelled quite a lot as a youngster. Can you tell us a little bit about growing up?
I'm Army kid. So my father was military attaché, and he was posted to Rangoon in Burma, now Myanmar, and Jakarta in Washington. Yeah, it was great. I hadn't lived in this country until I was 11. A real shock coming back to England, being shoved in boarding school in the middle of February. Thought the world was mental. But the army pay for school.
Would you say it's had an effect on your adulthood, having that opportunity to travel as a young age? Is that something you particularly enjoy as well, travelling? Because I know you spent time in Australia as well.
Yeah, I mean, I did my year off in Australia. No, I do love travelling, but I think not any more than anybody else. But it was a great upbringing. Really enjoyed it. I think I went to 9 schools in 6 years.
Really?
So I was didn't know much when I got back to England. But I had a good time.
That's the main thing. But, it's been great speaking to you. It's been great to get to know you, Toby. Thank you very much for joining us. And for everyone else who's been listening, please stop by for the next episode.
Thanks, James. Good to speak to you. See you soon, mate.
Thanks, Toby.
Bye-bye.